Flashpoint, your turnaround story starts right here, but it might not, because you might be like I was, stuck in your head. Stuck in your head. Consider this a special edition tonight. This is coming from the heart, because I hear this over and over again, and I'm passionate about it because I personally lived it. Being stuck in your head, wondering what to do. Perhaps you're somebody, you read all the books, you listen to the tapes, you listen to the programs, but for some reason, you are not moving forward at the rate that you know you are capable of. Thank you. Welcome tonight. It's Friday. It's a bonus edition of Flashpoint Friday. We're excited. We're passionate about what we're building. And I can tell you, here's what happens. And why do I know? Because I lived it. Ready? You want the big goal. You want the change. You're reading all the books. You're scouring through the information. And then you go to sit down to go do it, or you set out, and what happens? You're afraid to make a mistake. Confusion sets in. You might feel stuck. You might feel frustrated. You might feel like stagnation. You might feel some discomfort and some pain. And then what do? We go into escapism. We go to the phone and we start checking the phone. We pick up the phone again. We put it down. We pick it up. We try to get back into it. And then we feel this awkward because we don't know the answers. And I used to live in my head. There's a saying. It says, if you live in your head, you're dead. You live in your head, you're dead. Welcome, Michelle. Welcome, Emilio. Welcome, Daniela. Welcome, Instagram. What's up? I'm coming at you live on a Friday. I'm feeling it. I'm passionate because this keeps coming up. It came up for me. This is my it's autobiographical, if you will. Man, and I'll show you. See these like lines right here? See these lines? See them? Got these lines in my head because I was like this. Got to figure it out. Got to know all the answers. Got to read the books. Got to get the tapes. But then when I would go to do it, I would sit there and I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't move forward at the rate. I'm like, man, I know I'm capable more. Why am I not moving forward? Someone's laughing at me. It's all good. Welcome, everyone. Here, I got some notes. I got some notes for this one because here's what happens. I'm going to walk you through. You're not moving forward at the rate you know you're capable of. You're feeling stuck. You're feeling frustrated and you're feeling overwhelmed, but you'll go out and get more information. Listen, it's information nation. Information is everywhere and we go out and we get it. But then what happens? We can't implement it. We can't seem to put it into practice. The keys to everything I want is everywhere, but I can't seem to put it into practice. Or I spike and I dip down. I spike up and then I dip down. And then I'm like not moving forward at the rate that I want to freaking move forward. It is time. It is, you know what? You know why it's time? Because things are opening up. The world is opening up and it's going to open up. And I want you to take advantage of it. You've been working, you've been reading, you've been doing all the work. It's time. So let me get into this. Here's my thing. I'm going to give you some of my story because I read the books. I kept reading the books. I took the long road, but I'm still going to end up on time. And so are you. Here's what happened to me. I love my dad. God rest his soul. It's Memorial Weekend. He was a Vietnam vet. I was afraid to make a mistake because when my dad told me to do something, if I didn't get it right, man, he was coming at me because he loved me and he wanted me to get it right. But unfortunately, that approach made me fear of a mistake. So I had to have all the answers. My brain's going, I got to have all the answers all the time or I'm going to mess up. So anything I went to do, I'm seeking all the answers. Guess where I'm at? Guess where I'm living? Up here. Guess what happened? I made mistakes. So guess what happened? I go to get more information and then I'm not implementing it. So I need too much information before I would take what? Action. And action is right now. Action's waiting for us. Richard Branson, one of the most incredible entrepreneurs on the planet. They just did a rocket launch recently, whatever, competing to go to Mars, wherever they're going to go. He doesn't do a formal business plan in the traditional sense of the word. You know what he does? Let's come up with a basic plan. What's the next logical step? Boom, into action. Because here's what happens. If you try to process too much information, you will lead to stagnation. If you try to process too much information, will lead you to stagnation. And this is what a lot of us do. We're listening to the books. We're going to get the other program. And next thing you know, we're sitting there. We're not moving forward. We get a little discomfort and then we disconnect. There's a way out of this, by the way. I'm going to get to that. We get confused. We might even feel anxiety because we don't have all the answers, right? So then we're creating more of a self-fulfilling prophecy. And then we escape. Like I said, I want to help you to get out of this who wants out of this vicious cycle? Let's get some shares here. Am I making sense? Is this like hitting the chord? Is this hitting the chord tonight? Let me know. Is it just me? Am I the only one that went down this road and took this, like, got to know all the answers, got to get the next book, next tape, next certification. What's up, everyone? How's it going? We're rocking and rolling here tonight. So let me know. Bingo. Thank you, Emilio. Bingo. Live. I'm sharing it with everyone. Everyone needs to hear this because you know what? Fear of other people's opinions. Guess what? Who gives a shit about someone else's opinion that doesn't have a direct impact on your life? If they're not in your circle, if they're not there to encourage you, if they're not there to move you forward, you don't give a shit about their opinion. Their opinion doesn't matter. Are you down with OPO? Are you down with OPO? That's other people's opinion. If you're down with OPO, there's nowhere you're going to go. You're going to stay stuck. You're going to stay stagnant because I lived this. I was concerned about what someone else would think. And even in this journey that I'm on right now, guess what? Guess what people want to do? They're not engaged. They're not following you, but they might pop on and they go, oh, you spelled something wrong. And I welcome all feedback. But my point is, if I sit around, I would never be moving forward. I'd be sitting there. I would not be putting myself out here. So if you are dealing with fear of mistake, I want you to get over that tonight. Because here's why. You have something inside. And the reason why you're on here is because you know there's something inside. It's that thing that keeps telling you that there's something inside, but then there's this other side of you that goes, oh, well, maybe that's not you. You know, and what it's like the gut knows. You know, your heart, your gut, there's a whole intelligence down here that knows. Science is proving it now. There's a network up here that wants to create. And what happens is, but the measurement of the world comes in and says it has to be this way. And that stagnates a lot of people, but not you. How good is that? But not you. How would you like to be able to implement at a rate faster with more effectiveness than anything else that you've done? And guess what? You can enjoy the process more because you can trust the process. Here's what I want to give you tonight, though. I want to give you tonight something, right? If you stand on one foot right now, right? And some of you, if you're standing on one foot, what happens? Right? You feel this shakiness, right? I'm shaking. I'm standing on one foot, and you can try this at home. Some of you might be really good with it. Actually, if I do it normally, I can do it. You stand on one foot. Here's what happens in life. When you stand on one foot, your body's moving. It looks like you're out of balance, right? But what's happening is you're actually finding balance. And if you do a balancing exercise, and I've done this plenty of times, if your mind is filled with stuff, you will be all over the place. If you empty your mind, you'll be straight as an arrow. And my point here is that when you go to do something for the first time, you're learning it. But because your programming says, I got to know it all and I got to be perfect right from the get-go. And if you're not perfect, you feel this discomfort because it's like you've been programmed to know all the answers from the very beginning before you get started. Let me just grab some of the shares here. If you're on Instagram, welcome. Glad you're here. Let me just grab a share here. I felt the need to be perfect for many years. It was only in the last few years with your help and Emilio's that I realized I don't have to have all the answers and I do not need to be perfect. Perfect is the lowest common goal you can have. It released a lot of anxiety. Daniela, thank you for sharing that, because I want you to implement like you've never done before. I want you to move forward faster with more effectiveness than anything else you've done in the past. Most people lead lives of quiet desperation because they're following the norm of society. And we talked about this earlier. We just did a call. It's the paradox that makes the difference. The world wants, matter of fact, if you look at the educational, and I'm not here to knock education, but college degree, doctorate degree, master's, it's like the education keeps rising and it doesn't really mean anything in the real world. But it's like we want to have it so we can kind of, create this certainty that we kind of like, almost like it checks off a box that doesn't really have any relevance. Are you with me? This is what I wanted to hear from you everywhere right now. Bingo. So this is spot on because a lot of people are living in their heads. What we're launching is a program called ACT. It's accountability, community, coaching that leads to transformation. Because the other thing that happened for me, after I had gotten all the books, gotten the tapes, did all this stuff, and I'm still like, I'm like, don't get me wrong, I am actually growing. But it wasn't until I got in a community that everything skyrocketed for me. My success went up. I felt better about the journey. Everything started to incrementally up level when I got around the right people in a structured way over a period of time. It exploded my growth. And everything that I had learned started to come up and become I got leverage on it and I started to use the tools and I started to help other people. And it's the same thing. You have gold inside of you, but it's this constant, like, having to know it all, fear of what other people think. It's like a psychological, like some kind of a psychological play that goes on in your head that makes you think you have to have all the answers. Because what will everyone think if I don't have all the answers? Again, and other people's opinions, they don't matter. They don't matter. And I say they don't matter because here's why I know it. And I've seen it 1,000 times. The people who pander to other people's opinions go nowhere. The people who get in touch with their heart and they get authentic and bring that to the world, they attract people. They absolutely attract people. And that's the community that we're building. We have a live event coming up. I know I'm coming at you hard here tonight, but I've watched this. I've watched people get stuck in their heads and it's not doing anything. And we want you to implement like never before. I want you to implement the things that you're learning. So for tonight's call, I want you to approach the next thing. And when you start to feel this, like, I got to know the answers, I don't have all the answers right now, I want you to sit with that. And I want you to go, okay. And then I want you to ask a question. What is my next logical step? What is my next logical step? And then all the other stuff, just get rid of it. Get into action. See, get into action. If you think too much, you won't do it. I ran an ultra marathon. If I thought about running an ultra marathon, I wouldn't do it. But if I said, I wonder if I can run a mile. I wonder if I can run 2 miles. I wonder if I can run 5. I wonder if I can run 8. I wonder if I can run 10. I wonder if I can run 13. I wonder if I can do a marathon. Start with the incremental changes. Get to base camp. Most of you are thinking about Mount Everest, but all you need to be thinking about is base camp. What's your next logical step? I just said this to somebody earlier. Many people are dealing with this affliction. Many people are dealing with living in their heads and they're not moving forward. Let me know if this is resonating with you. And I want you to come to our next event. And so here's what I'm gifting you. You can attend the next live event complimentary on us. And then we're going to have a program that if you want to go further, you can do it. And we are going to encourage you. We're going to help you implement like never before. We're going to hold you accountable for what, but this is going to be a process. It is a process, but it's next logical step. So the next logical step for you is to, when you sit down, get creative. What's the next logical step? Embrace the awkwardness, right? Like when we're trying to balance, embrace the awkwardness, move forward anyway. And from there, realize that, and the one thing I want to say is trust, because when we don't know the answers right away, guess what happens? Subconsciously, we don't trust ourselves. And what I found is when you sit with the awkwardness and you say, I got this. Self-talk. Like we have a saying in my community, expect it. Somebody may want to type this in. Expect it, accept it, so you can move past it. And what this means is, whenever I sit down to attack anything, I'm expecting to feel a little awkward. I'm expecting to shake. I sit, I trust. The right things will begin to flow. And if I can sit in a state of trust, wow, great things are going to happen. There's a 400 trillion, you can research this. I'm going to check my numbers. There's greatness inside of you. There's a 400 trillion, is it 400 trillion chance of you being alive. And according to some studies, I believe this is the 130,000th human generation. I got to check my numbers. But the point is, the chances of you being alive are beyond comprehension. The numbers are staggering that you're alive. You've already won the greatest battle that has ensued to be alive. That's number one. Number two, the generational lineup of where you are in the human race is almost incomprehensible when you look at the numbers and you count. That means there's been millions of battles that have been fought. An ocean of intelligence that you can't even comprehend. An energy that pulses in every cell in your body that your mind cannot fully comprehend. There's a part of you that knows what your conscious mind does not know. But you'll sit there and rely on just what your conscious mind is doing. And you'll get stressed out about what society thinks, what your neighbor thinks. Am I doing it the right way? Trust, my friend. Trust. That might be the greatest thing that you're going to hear, is that there's something fantastic inside of you. And it's got to come from a place of trust. And I know for me, there's many times I felt inadequate. There's many times I just didn't feel like I measured up. I labeled myself below everybody else, even though my ego was trying to level up and show and do this. There was a part of me that just didn't feel enough. And I'm not the only one. That's for a lot of us. And the thing is, when you really look at it and you just stick to your uniqueness, you don't have to measure yourself. Certainly there's things we measure ourselves, but we don't measure it for our worth. We don't measure it as we have to be that way. We simply look at it as a tool. And then we step into our truth and we move forward from that place, knowing that there's things that pulsate inside of you that you can never truly comprehend, at least in your conscious mind. And let's see, we trust gravity and we can't see it. Preach it. Yeah. I know there's 85 to 100 billion cells in every single one of you. And here's what I say at the live event. Did all your cells get the memo? You know, did like maybe 30 billion got the memo and the other 30 billion are going, wait, should we do this? Should we do this? Should we really be taking our dreams? Should we really pursue our dreams? Yes, 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 you absolutely should. Not only should you, I don't want to say should, you choose to. You choose to. You step into your power and you choose to. I'm excited. We have a live event. We have a new program we're launching. The live event is completely complimentary, and you're not just going to hear from me. You're going to hear from all these amazing people. Thank you, Daniela. Expect it, accept it, so you can move past it. There's power in expecting it. There's power in going, yes, some shit's going to hit the fan. My mind's going to be shooting off fireworks. Like, I know that's going to happen, so don't be surprised. Like, I know there's nights where I'm like, I get to the end of the day, and it's all self-awareness. I'll start to get that, like, that negative stuff starts to kick up, and I go, I breathe and I go, wait, you know what? Put that aside. I need a good night's rest. I get a good night's rest. I wake up and all is well again. And I'm back into my power. I'm back into my energy because I know we need the contrast of life. You know, we were just talking about this earlier. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share the info on the live event. If this is hitting you, I'm telling you, my life changed when I attended a live event, and I went and I said yes, and I paid for it. I want to say I think I paid like $600 or $700. I want to say to attend this event. And what I'm saying to you is we are offering this event, Flashpoint Live 3.0, and all these folks on here, I know some folks on here have been there. They can tell you what it's meant for them and what it's changed and what it's meant for their lives. And we're excited, and we just want to do more of this. If you're listening to this, you're going, that's me. This is like talking directly to me. Then get your ticket. Get your ticket. We have a complimentary ticket. We have a VIP ticket. And then down the road, we are going to be offering a community where we are going to help you implement like nothing else you've ever done. All the information that you've learned, everything you studied is all going to line up to your benefit, not to your detriment, because the information overload leads to confusion, leads to you do nothing, stagnation, and that needs to change. And you know it needs to change. And you're getting this video for a reason. So thank you, Mandy. God bless. I'm excited. I'm here. I would say connect with me, connect with somebody that put a comment on here. We're a big community, and we want to get a message out there that Flashpoint, your turnaround story starts here. And for those of you that are wondering what Flashpoint is a visceral moment that you feel, that every cell in your body feels. And you know that the change you seek is happening. And in some cases, it's done. It's happened. You know it. You know, there's two creations, right? You got to feel it in here. We were just talking about this. If you don't feel it in here, mind, body, spirit, emotions, it's not going to show up out there. Many people want it to show up out there, but they're not feeling it in here. So we help you implement this, make a practice out of it. And when you do this, you will never go back. Einstein said, once a mind, and I'm paraphrasing, once a mind is stretched, it can never return to its former form. And that might be you tonight. Have a fantastic night. I'll see you at the live event. Good night, everyone. Energy is the field within first. Have a great night. Thanks, Mandy.